Yo, what is up? Welcome back to a Stiff Receipt. This is gonna be a very, very fun episode.
I want to die.
This is the most excited I have been to ever record, ever. I think.
I'm exhausted.
I'm also exhausted.
Like,
you know what's funny about this whole thing?
72
Yeah,
hours?
72 hours or so. You know what's wild about this whole thing is it's like, it feels like this has been like months, but in reality, it's not even been 3 days.
Oh my god, there's so much that's happened. Like, there's shit that's not even connected that happened all at once.
And then, like, on top of everything else that's going on, you got, like, so many people saying different things on Twitter, so you don't know who the fuck to believe about what.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Oh, God. But I guess we should start from the beginning. And that would be WrestleMania.
The birth of Vince McMahon.
Okay, well, maybe not that far in the beginning.
Well, you know, abortion isn't always a terrible thing.
True.
Anyways, moving on. Yeah, WrestleMania.
So we had, like, a pretty much flawless Saturday.
Yeah, first day was great.
There really wasn't
feelings.
anything, like, not great from Saturday. Like, the worst thing that happened was definitely Theory and Cena, but like even that was whatever. It's fine. It was just a boring normie match, basically.
Do you want to know the truth about that? I remember not a single fucking spot from that match.
I do. Remember he grabbed his balls. That's how he won. He gave him.
Oh, that's right.
He low blowed him and he held his arm there a questionable amount of time.
He was judging, you know, circumferences and lengths. I assume. With that amount of time spent down there, homie.
But we had that great day one. Day two started out, in my opinion, better than day one. Somehow they made Omos and Lesnar work out really well. Then we had that triple threat match for the Intercontinental title, which was a freaking banger. Even that women's tag match, the ending of it was horrendous, but it was a really good match until the end.
Yeah, I can't really blame them on that, other than they just didn't audible with somebody else entirely, because they ended up, well, we'll tell everybody what they did with that later. They basically just screwed it, but they should have gone with somebody else than those two anyways, because I'm tired of seeing fucking Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
And Shayna Baszler is fine on her own, I guess.
But
sometimes
it was all pretty good. There really wasn't anything horribly terrible until the main event, which we got delivered I wouldn't say mid match, but it was above average but not great.
It was a Roman Reigns.
It was literally like the Roman Reigns formula, copy pasted the same way we've gotten like especially the last 3 times, or really last 4 times, except this time, in my opinion,
Roman Reigns is The Rock without all the swagger.
Right.
That's what it is. So it's no fun.
It's the same copy-paste match formula that we've gotten the last 4 times, and in my opinion, I think this is the worst of the 4.
Well, I mean, for obvious reasons we're fixing to talk about. Because what's the finish?
Well, this is just before the finish. I ain't even talking about the finish. I'm talking about
you're
just
talking
the
about
match
not
itself.
even up to that point.
Right.
I wasn't even pissed off about it. I was just
the match was
whatever.
It's a
Roman Reigns match. It was Cody doing Cody spots and a Roman Reigns match. So you can only polish a turd so shiny before
because
it's
his Sammy match was great. His Drew McIntyre match is great. The Kevin Owens match. Like those were all pretty good, and they were all those matches were better than the Cody Rhodes one. Not that it was a bad match; it was fine, but like it wasn't as good as those other ones.
There's a lot to that,
and then we get that finish with Cody Rhodes losing in such an anticlimactic, deflating.
Name off the process for
sad.
It, because what we got Solo getting involved.
Well, I think everybody knows the process at this point.
He got kicked out later. There was a Paul spot that ended up with a ref bump where the Usos came out and kicked the shit out of Cody, and then Cody somehow got out of that. They then got Solo Sikoa to
come out a second time, but he was wearing a hoodie.
Come out a second time wearing a hoodie like that
to make it look like it wasn't him.
Hides that man. Like it hides Solo Sikoa. You are wearing the same shorts, you dipshit. You didn't even change into full clothing. Like you literally were in the same fight. Fuck it. He did the Samoan spike. Roman Reigns got a fucking spear and a pin, and everybody just kind of sat there. It was the most silent I've ever heard anything.
I was fully convinced in my mind that they were doing like a bit, like a segment, like something was going to happen.
I thought they were going to dusty finish it.
Because
I even said that on stream. Yeah,
and I was like, I think that's the most speechless I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm just, I didn't even have words. Like that moment, my soul left my body. Like I was dumbfounded.
I don't understand any logic, and somebody, even one of the suggested processes that somebody could even go through that may even remotely fucking make sense are still stupid. There's not a chance in the hell that you look at that situation and you go, yeah, Roman Reigns beats Cody because it's Roman Reigns and he should beat Cody. No, Cody's the most over fucking human being in the world. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's end of story. There's nobody else on earth that can make little kids look at them and go, oh shit, I want to be him.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who it is, little kids, little boys, little girls, they want to be Cody because Cody's awesome. And Cody's a nice guy. And Cody does the right thing. And then you're going to set him up to be this big thing. And it's like, nah, he's done. We're just going to beat him. Sorry, kids.
Well, like,
but not only on top of that, he's the most over. Why are you not doing it right now when everybody likes him? No, like, it's not like it's John Cena where only the kids like him.
What Alvarez said was after night one, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won the tag titles from the Usos, he said the crowd was just great. They were so into it. They were cheering. They were like, they stuck around and like cheered while they were in the ring and dancing. They stuck around like all the way to the end until they got to until they left the ring, and then everybody started clearing out. Alvarez said on night two after Cody got pinned.
Oh, people were just getting up and walking off.
It was like almost immediate. Yeah. Everybody just stood up and just started leaving.
People are picking shit up. They're like, nope, get the fuck out. We're not doing this.
I can't believe it. It's like,
no,
just think of all those people that paid.
This is a good idea.
Paid all of that money to witness that tragedy.
I want to know what people looking back are going to feel like when they have the pictures of them where they're like holding belt. Actually, never mind. I know what these people are going to think. They're the ones that are holding belts, holding the number, like We the One up. Yeah. And like hashtag We the One right after the WrestleMania thing with zero reflection on what just happened. It's like, yeah, you do one, but what does that say? Like, what does that say that you think that this is the person that, like, this is how this works? Like, there's nobody that's as good as Roman Reigns. I beg to fucking differ. I can give you a list a mile long beforehand.
This is the thing that I love. It's kind of a bittersweet thing, though.
Not even bad.
It's like all these motherfuckers sitting here talking about how Cody Rhodes has not met adversity and, like, all this other shit. And then Roman wins. Everybody's like, see, told you it's because he didn't meet adversity. And then we get through Raw, and then everybody has it hits them like a fucking truck. And they realize, oh, shit. He didn't lose because he didn't have face adversity. He lost because Vince McMahon is back in control.
Yeah, it was literally like, oh man, he's got to have adversity, man. He's gonna have adversity.
That's the stupidest goddamn argument I've ever heard.
And the next thing I see is, oh, we're getting, and I got suckered back into it, but I was very tentative about it.
I didn't. I'm happy to say I ignored Raw entirely as soon as Paul got done, or Triple H got done, giving his speech. I was done.
Fair, and I should have as well. But here's the deal: I like Cody. I've liked Cody.
Most people do.
Well, true.
One of those isn't Vince, unfortunately.
Well, he doesn't like the last name Rhodes. I remember he put his dad in black and yellow polka dots.
Hey, maybe he'll be in polka dots on SmackDown.
And dressed his brother up like a woman.
Yeah.
Not even a woman. Just the word was androgynous. That was it.
Yeah.
That's I like Cody a lot in wrestling, and I liked him before I knew he had anything to do with WWE. I just knew he was Cody Rhodes. He was Dusty's son. So I was like, oh, cool. Let's see how good he is. And I was like, Being the Elite stuff. So I'm watching Being the Elite and finding Ring of Honor stuff, watching New Japan stuff. And it's like, oh, this is really fucking cool. I like him a lot. And they start AEW. So I like him a lot. And he leaves and goes to WWE. Am I happy? Not great. Not really. It's not great. I mean, he's happy, so that's all that matters. So I want to follow him there and see if he can do well there.
Anyways, I wouldn't be too happy after everything.
Well, not now. That's at the time was what I'm talking about. Like I'm talking about the time I follow this guy. So he goes over here, and I'm like, maybe he went over there for a reason because he feels like he can trust the situation at some point. That's fine. So you can trust someone's judgment who's made pretty decent decisions the whole time. And now it's there, and it seems like he didn't. First of all, he didn't know any of the shit was happening like this. Who the fuck could? And then all of this stuff, and it's just like, damn, dude. So when the night comes back up, the next night when we go through all of that up and down bullshit the night before, and him losing, and he gets out there and he cuts a really good Cody promo, and I'm like, I'm a fucking mark, but let's do this. And then it's revealed that his partner is Brock. I'm like, Cowboy Brock. Well, now I am really marking out. Let's do this. And then Raw happened. Like all of Raw happened.
I literally, I seriously,
all
like,
of it.
When
like the whole fucking show, and it's a fever dream.
When Triple H like immediately announced Roman out there, like right off the bat, I was like, so I just kind of tuned out. And then the moment that they revealed Cody's partner as being Brock Lesnar, I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I don't care anymore.
No, I mean that I understand why people wouldn't want to, but at least that one made sense because he met both requirements.
Yeah.
He wrestled over the weekend, and he already can't challenge for the title while Roman has it. So it made perfect sense. You put them in a tag team together, have the tag team match, have him beat up Solo.
Yeah.
Have him and Solo have something, because that would be a really cool match and a really cool series. Is Solo Sikoa versus Brock Lesnar.
And it all worked out exactly like that in the end.
And it all worked exactly like none of what I fucking explained, because we went through an entire boring ass episode of Raw where apparently
you can't even say everything
got changed.
It was not even an episode.
People were there. While they were standing in the ring, they were changing shit.
It wasn't even an episode. It was a dumpster.
They did Seth Rollins' entrance. He's going to speak to us. We're going to get the Seth Rollins entrance, and then we get that shit in the middle of it entirely there, and that got canceled.
To be fair, according to fucking Fightful, that was not the case. That was exactly how the segment was written, which makes it even worse, in my opinion, that they actually made that a segment. He walked out there, sang a song, and then left. That's it. That was the whole segment. And according to Sean Ross Sapp, that was not him like arguing or them telling him that to cut the promo. That was literally as it was written, according to him. Which
can I say that's even worse?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's worse.
At least if you had told me that like your idea was we were gonna have an idea for him, and then you're like, never mind, I changed my mind. Cut it out, bud.
But
like that would have been fine.
At this point,
just been ridiculous man being ridiculous man at the time. But like now it's like ridiculous man was a ridiculous man when it was written down, and then spent the whole fucking night, kept looking at that and went, yeah, that'll work.
Like
fucking.
I'm sure everybody knows how WrestleMania played out at this point, right? But maybe not. I'm sure most people know how Raw has played out, but maybe not everybody. But the show was bad. There was no cohesion at all. Nothing that happened mattered, and nothing. It was all irrelevant, all of it. And
I can honestly say I don't think there was. Yeah, there wasn't a zero redeeming quality about that episode of Raw.
So apparently this is the rundown of Raw and what happened. So Apparently, Raw was planned out. The first thing that went, there was 2 women's triple threat matches scheduled, and it was going to be like a kind of an impromptu like mini tournament for number 1 contender for the women's title. So both those matches got scrapped. You know what got put in that match's place? Those matches' place? Omos versus Elias,
which was
a minute and 42 seconds.
Yeah.
A minute and 42 seconds. That match replaced that. The best part about that, Omos was not scheduled to wrestle at all. Nor was Elias.
Catering.
He was in catering. He didn't even have gear. He had to scramble to figure out what the fuck he was going to go out and wrestle in. Minute 42 squash match for Elias. So for no reason. And they replaced 2 women's triple threat matches for that. That was the first thing that happened. Second thing that was supposed to happen that got scrapped. The Damage Control match. Damage Control was supposed to come out and have a segment. Well, instead, it was just a normal like women's tag match, which the match was fine, but like Bayley was noticeably absent. Bayley was cut from that for some reason. You know,
not even mentioned.
Not even mentioned, right? And apparently, according to everybody or whatever, that all these changes, and there's still more changes. All these changes happened an hour before showtime.
Or some of them happened during showtime,
right? So there was that was like the first things that were cut. As I said, the Seth Rollins thing. You know, they did confirm that it wasn't cut while he was in the ring, and that was apparently supposed to be how it be. You know, I guess, you know, nobody really knows that for certainty, I imagine. But regardless, the Seth Rollins segment was fucking weird. Didn't make any sense. I don't even know why they bothered. Another thing that was cut from Raw was, you know, they recently did the LWO thing last week. There was an LWO segment planned. It was also cut. It was LWO going to do a segment with Bad Bunny to hype up the, you know, Backlash being in like Puerto Rico or whatever, and we didn't get that. Instead, we got the weird Bad Bunny Damian Priest shit where he attacked him for whatever reason. Didn't get the LWO segment. Strange. And I think that is all. I think that was all that was cut like directly from Raw. And we had all that. It was just terrible, like start to finish. Then we get to the very end. We get the tag match. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar versus Solo and Roman. Like, okay, well, this is weird, but like they can make this work, right? Like this is the end of the show. This would make a little bit of sense. It's like, we'll do
pros.
This.
They can make this tag team happen.
Fucking everybody gets out there. Cody does his entrance, gets out there. Brock does his entrance, gets in the ring, and almost immediately just F5's Cody. And the match never even starts.
How did Alvarez explain it? He beats him, and he beats him, and he beats him.
Right.
And he beats him, and he beats him.
He literally...
And then he walks away. And then he runs back and runs people out of the ring, and then he continues to beat him.
Yes.
Beat him, and beat him, and beat him. And F5 him on top of
the
some fucking
stairs.
Yep. And then run back down the fucking ramp. And then walk back out and end the fucking segment with him flipping off the camera. So, like... this is the thing. Like this was a match. Like it seemed to be like a scheduled match. Like there was no nobody said anything as this was like nobody said anything like about like this being like an impromptu thing that was changed or whatever. But like fucking from my understanding,
it seems like there was a huge change on this, right? Because this was the last match of the show. This wasn't like there was, 3 minutes left and they were just like doing a bit or a segment or whatever. There was like 10 minutes left in the show and everybody made their entrance, and then Brock Lesnar literally spent the last 7 minutes of Raw beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
I
7 minutes.
I've never seen a human being in real life or kayfabe get the shit kicked out of them like Cody Rhodes did.
Like
just the absolute dog shit for 7
minutes.
Fucking minutes of just most uncomfortable shot. I told you, my mouth was literally open going, what the fuck is going on here?
The only
just staring at it, confused, perplexed, and just bewildered.
I didn't even sit through all of it. Every time I looked over, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm sure that one looked like waking up in the middle of the
I literally,
day.
like, I watched.
Fell asleep in a nap.
I looked over, literally, I looked
that?
over, and I saw that Brock was coming out, everybody was in the ring. I'm like, okay, we're doing this match, whatever. And then, I get back to doing my shit, and then I look over again, and I'm literally watching Brock Lesnar just beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I literally looked back at your stream when I did that. Literally was watching and paying attention. Looked back at your stream because I hadn't fully looked yet. I just was turning everything off, and I looked back, and he was up on Brock's shoulders, and he was F5ing him. And apparently that was the fucking second one.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
It don't make no sense. There's none of it made any sense, right?
No, there was no point. There's nothing that we're doing here that makes any sense whatsoever.
Well,
so what? Here, the only thing that I come up with is that there was people that were giving ideas for what it could be.
Right.
What was the thought process? What are we doing here? The prevailing theory on why we beat Cody Rhodes at fucking WrestleMania when he's the hottest fucking thing on the planet. Just give him the fucking belt and let him go.
What?
Just the only thing that comes out is that they're trying to replace the fact that The Rock was supposed to be at WrestleMania, or they planned on him being there, and he didn't go. So, we still are going to have Roman win. So, fuck it, Cody.
So, and there's a lot of things going through people's mind at this point. After the end of Mania, everybody was like, this had to be a Vince thing, right? It just had to be. And then, there was the rumors of the sale. There was rumors of the sale, and the sale officially happened Monday. He gave the interview, and he said, what did he say? He said he was asked if he would be participating in creative, and he said he said yes and no. I will be doing creative at a higher level, but not in the weeds anymore. Well, guess where he was Monday Night Raw? He was in the weeds. He was right there. He was literally in Gorilla with the headset doing Triple H's job. And so, by this point, everybody is confused and doesn't know what's going on. But by the time Raw is over, everybody's kind of realized this is what's happening, right? And then that's when we started getting all the confirmations from everybody, where it is indeed Vince McMahon was there. He was there, and he was the one giving he was calling the shots over the thing. It apparently didn't start that way, but slowly as the day went on, Vince McMahon was in full control, according to reports.
Here's the thing about that, because we had talked about that, hadn't we?
What?
About the weird. Was it you that I talked about that with, or was I reading that they started seeing the little highlighter thing?
Yeah, the highlighter thing.
And then because that just popped in my head, and I'm like, oh, this fucker's been doing this shit for a little while. Okay, I get the whole highlighter thing. If you're trying to get advertising shit across, all right, I can kind of see that. So I let it go, and now it's he was doing that, and then apparently he was at gorilla position for a couple things on Saturday, and then Sunday he just decided, I'm gonna fucking do it, and Monday didn't start looking like that, and then it ended up with him at Gorilla all night.
Yeah, and
just fucking running everything.
Before I get further into that, there was two other things of note. So, as it was, it seems to be pretty much he was back full control by the end of the Raw. And he was just visiting, air quotes, during WrestleMania. He wasn't supposedly a part of it. And I mean, most of WrestleMania was good, so I could believe it. But there was two things of note. But it wasn't said why or anything. But so Bobby Lashley is pissed because his WrestleMania match is scrapped, and he's not happy about it. And they have him go out there, hold that trophy, and wave to the crowd and then leave. And that was kind of strange. Well, apparently LA Knight and Lashley were supposed to do a segment at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I read that.
And it got scrapped. So that's a little suspicious, especially since Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about LA Knight. The other thing of note was, you remember the women's tag match? Shotzi and Natalya come out there, and it's like, oh shit, you know, it'd be really cool if they had like the tank, like they were both riding like a big tank.
They had the tank, didn't they?
They had the tank. It was there, and they had planned on using it for the entrance, but it was mysteriously scrapped for some reason. You know who doesn't like the tank? Vince McMahon.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
So that was a little suspicious, right? And both of those things were night 2.
Don't be suspicious.
You know?
Don't be suspicious.
So now that's all passed. Raw was over, and everything's coming out about Vince being back and all this. Immediately, the morale in the locker room is just at an all-time low. It's the lowest it has been since, you know, before he left in 2022. Mm-hmm. And, you know, effectively, you know, with the interviews that he gave for whatever, I don't know if it was ESPN or whoever the hell he talked to with the UFC guy or Endeavor guy, like he said right there what his intentions were, and then just completely, it's all a giant lie. He just lied to everybody, which is, you know, Vince. So it's not really that surprising. So because of that, everybody in the locker room is like, well, maybe not everybody, but I imagine the majority of the people in the locker room are like, I'm fucking, like, this is bullshit. I'm done. I ain't doing this shit. But
how many of them do you think are staring at a calendar right now, counting days,
waiting until their contracts are up,
and trying to remember if they had any injury downtime and adding that on the back end? And like, how many of them? And like, poor Sammy.
So
he's in a good position.
There's 2
Sammy
people.
And fucking Kevin are looking at it going,
well, see, that's the thing. They're both in a good position as of WrestleMania. That could fucking end literally tomorrow or Friday. Like that. Friday. That shit could literally be done Friday.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It could be completely just destroyed.
Right.
Friday. And I mean, when we say could, usually there's like, oh, it's like this, you know, it could happen, but you know, or it's probably gonna happen. It's like flip a fucking coin and do it 6 times right before they come out for an entrance or as they're entering, and then figure out which one was which. And that's about the same chance you got as trying to figure out what Vince McMahon is going to fucking do on any day. That it was the bane of existence, and kind of why I'm glad that we didn't start this right when we did, because the fucking notes from trying to figure out what the fuck happened at a Raw or SmackDown for the people that are up at a high level, like far above us, like trying to like actually gather in news with sources. They have like multiple sets of show notes that change throughout the night. And people were like, should I stop going to shows? Should I not go to the show? And Alvarez is like, no, please, for the love of God, go to the show. Go watch. Tell us how many times they get notes on what to do. Tell us how many times they stop something. We have to know that. And it's like, that's going to happen again. And what we're going to find out is, oh, Raw was written like last week, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
On Friday. And it wasn't written until like 6:59 Central Time. Oh, you mean like a minute before show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. Nobody even knew what the beginning segment was going to be. Do you know how many times that was talked about with Vince in charge?
Yeah, I mean, this is literally as Dave Meltzer said. It's back. He's back. It's what it is. That's what happened. And if you think those shows are bad, then they're going to be bad.
Yeah,
and that's just straight. That's that's just is what it is. It's Vince is back. Vince is going to be doing Vince shows again. And if you don't like the Vince shows, then all these it's just going to be bad. Like that's just the reality of it.
Welcome to your hell. That's where everybody is.
But as of right
We're
now,
all having to deal with it.
As of right now, there's 2 people after Raw and WrestleMania and whatnot with Vince. 2 people that are planning on requesting the release. One of them is a high up on the card person, which that it could be who fucking knows. And the other person is it was stated that they were going to just let their contract like run its course, and then they were out. And so my two thoughts were, Bailey made that tweet on WrestleMania or whatever. She was cut from the show. I mean, obviously Bailey could be one of those people. There was like a thing going around that she did request a release, but it ended up being fake, so that wasn't real. But she could still be, on her way out. So the other one that people were talking about could be the person who's like writing out the contracts, Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre talked about, I think it was last week or the week before, that his contract expires this year. So that would, that would obviously conveniently fit that other spot. But, who knows?
Yeah. And are we really surprised by the Bailey thing?
No.
All she needed was a reason, and
right.
Vince gave it to her.
Yeah, and like you look at like Sasha Banks, who's thriving now in Japan and everywhere else. I imagine we'll see Naomi do the same thing before too long.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be showing up
Bailey
in Ring of Honor or New Japan.
Right, and Bailey will join fucking Sasha and all of them doing shit, I imagine, as well.
Oh my God, we'll get a full women's NWO.
We'll get a new Damage Control.
Like a good one.
I will say, Triple H he put on better shows, he put on better pay-per-views, he brought back some great people that shouldn't have been fired. But I will say, Damage Control was definitely just not. It didn't hit. It was the one. It was one of the few things that he did that just didn't hit.
Like from the beginning.
I think from the beginning it was a little hype because he, as I said, like he brought back both of them. They were both. Well, EO wasn't out yet, but she was going to be.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy. Well, she was about to leave.
Right.
Before he came back. Because she was out doing whatever she wanted to do.
Dakota Kai was out.
And Dakota Kai was
Bailey
gone.
was also out, but she was out because of injury.
Out hurt, but EO was fixing to do a Kyrie thing, which was, I'm going to Japan to kind of like sit for a minute and figure out what I'm doing. And then if I come back, I come back. If I don't, I don't. Sorry. And, when H got there, Hunter got there and got EO back, which fantastic. EO is amazing, but holy shit, those three together just are. I
feel like they didn't like work well.
No,
they were all very different. And I get the idea. The idea of it was like Bailey being who she is. It was just a way of her picking up like two, smaller talent and trying to, uplift them. And just, I don't know. It just didn't.
Okay. So
I just don't think it worked out in the end.
I'm sure what it was, the thing that they were going for was they, hang on a second. They were trying to kind of recreate like the whole Riot Squad thing.
Yep. And AEW ended up doing it better.
Well, sort of. Not really. Because the thing about that is the Riot Squad worked because they were so vastly different. The thing about AEW thing is more like NWO. Like, that's fine. But the thing about those three girls is they were so drastically different that they gelled very well together. And I'm sure that EO, Dakota, and Bailey are really good friends, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't come off. Like, the chemistry's not there.
I can see Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, and Saraya together. Like they look like a team to me. They look like they would go together. EO, Dakota, and Bailey do not.
No, they don't. And the funny thing about that is you think back to the Riot Squad, you had Liv, Sarah Logan, and Ruby.
Yeah.
And those are drastically different, but they kind of gelled as far as the way that they dressed.
Believable, though. Right.
Yeah, and it was more believable because Liv plays the bratty punk, like, bratty girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruby is the punk girl. And then Sarah's just the weird, what is she's a pagan. She's like Nordic pagan. Her and the dude that she's married to in the Viking Experience or Viking Raiders or whatever they're fucking called now.
Yeah.
The fucking Viking idiots that she does the thing with the face paint. They're pagans. They're weird. fuck that. That's another fucking thing that got screwed up by Vince. Damn, I'm so pissed. Fuck this shit. God damn it.
So on top of that, the two people that are apparently going to be requesting, or at least are trying to, or whatever, you also had Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed request their release from NXT. That all suspiciously happened around the same time. From what it looks like, it was either not granted or maybe it has not been granted yet, because they did appear on some NXT show like after that happened. Another thing, so there was a guy who had a Dana Brooke sign he was holding up on Raw. Something along the lines like, I want to see Dana Brooke or use Dana Brooke more or whatever. And the sign, they had the sign confiscated. They told him that he couldn't hold that up and they could come pick it up by the ring bell or timekeeper's area after the show. And I'm like, that sounds like a Vince thing to me, for sure.
Oh, it totally is.
And Dana Brooke was upset when she saw that on Twitter. She's like, I cannot believe they did that. It's like I don't remember the exact tweet, but she like, you know, said, it's like, hey, I would love to, you know, meet up with you. It's sometime or whatever, you know, and make this right and everything. Because like, it wasn't even like the crowd sign wasn't even like, there was nothing bad about it. It was just weird. So yeah, I thought that was nice to see like Dana Brooks saw that and she was very upset to find that out.
Well, it said, and I quote, "Give Dana Brooke a chance."
That's what it was. Give Dana Brooke a chance.
Literally all it said.
Right.
And she said, "I'm so sorry. This is so wrong and will be addressed."
Yeah.
Because it is. It's messed up.
Yeah,
she's not only saying that because he's, you know, somebody taking up for Dana Brooke, but it's also like, damn, that's a fan saying something about a wrestler. You're gonna stop that just because it's not the wrestler you want.
Right.
And Dana Brooke's good. She's just not Mike great. You could work with her on that. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
But
she's a good wrestler though.
The other thing that what I thought was pretty funny was there was allegedly on NXT, there's been a lot of people that said it. There was fire Vince chants at the latest NXT show. I didn't watch NXT, so I don't know if they can be heard or if they were like dubbed over.
It might have been the latest NXT taping because I think those are taped, aren't they?
Yeah, could be.
So also,
I'm not sure, but
Braun Breaker turned heel.
You're right.
Whatever.
I mean, from what I've heard, the latest NXT episode is actually really good. But
I heard it was very good.
That may just be like fucking because of how bad Raw was.
Well, let's put it this way: it was very good because it wasn't Vince booking it. So anything compared to Vince, like, goddamn, this is really great. But it's just more Shawn Michaels.
But yeah, so there was apparently NXT or fire Vince chants in NXT, and they're infamous about, you know, piping in the crowd noise and whatnot. So realistically, if this did happen again on SmackDown, like that, we won't hear it on TV. They'll bleep it out and dub over it, and they'll do everything that they fucking can to mask it.
Well, what I hope, what I would hope is, I guess I should say, my deepest hope would be, it's so pervasive that it's so overtaking that you would just bleep out everything. Like it would be
well,
all the time.
That would be the hope,
constant.
Right? That everybody, even when they're talking,
it would end up replacing back right after Punk left, right after the summer of Punk, when it was nothing but CM Punk
chants, right,
and you couldn't hear a fucking word.
It needs to be that shit. They need to be they need to be shouting it like over the promos and everything, where they literally can't, you know, cut it out, or else you wouldn't hear the promo at all.
Yeah, it would. It's because it's gonna be so loud it's coming through the microphone. Remember, and it's not even that you guys have to be loud when you do that. It's just you have to be loud, like kind of loud, but everybody doing it. And the problem is there's still a bunch of fucking marks that think we the ones and shit.
Well, that's the thing.
And that
like
Vince doesn't like Vince got us here, and I mean, look at Roman Reigns. He's the biggest wrestler on the planet.
That's the thing, though. Like that audience, that crowd, like you know, social media can be, you know, they can say one thing. The people in that crowd, the people in that crowd, 2/3 of those people don't give a fuck. You know, they don't care, and the 1/3 is going to get drowned out by the 2/3.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
realistically,
that's what I'm hoping.
It's just not like a reality. It'd be great, but it's just not the world we live in now.
Yeah,
there was two other things that were not necessarily related, but had very convenient timing. The first one was Charlotte Flair stepping away from WWE after WrestleMania. To be fair, she said she wanted to travel with Andrade, and then, you know, they've already got like pictures of, you know, going and doing whatever. So I'm sure it's not related, but like very convenient timing, right?
Very convenient. The other convenient thing was 3 text messages that showed up on Tony Khan's phone from Andrade, Miro, and FTR. They're like, yeah, I think we're good. I think we figured out what we're doing now.
That's something.
Andrade's like, can I work with Sammy? I'll work with Sammy instead.
This is going to be something
put me
interesting.
Back facing Ray every week.
Like, I'm interested to see what's happening tonight. I assume FTR is going to win the titles, because where the fuck are they going to go if they don't? Because now them going to WWE.
Go back to Vince.
If they go to WWE now, they'll never fucking last, and they'll get buried. They won't get used, and then they will literally, their contracts will be held hostage until they're up.
I will remind the entire public, myself, and my friend here, Uzi Hot. It was Icy Hot, branded by the Usos, that they switched out their some sort of like I don't know, like ball cream with, like, for like to make sure you don't chafe.
Yeah.
So it was Uzi Hot instead. So they had a ball burning gimmick for a minute. Please don't go back. Why would you do that? Hunter's not taking back over. It's done.
No.
We're done until he's dead.
He's dead until he's dead. The other thing that came out was Andrade, you know, he talked about his contract is ending soon, which I think we have different
extended now.
I think we have different ideas of what soon means, because Andrade, according to the internet, signed a 3-year contract in 2021. So that would mean he's still at the minimum, got almost an entire year. And he's been out from injury. He's recovering from injury. So I'm going to imagine
he tore his pec as well.
Right. I imagine more time would be added because of injury. So,
well, it can, but we don't know.
But again, like now we're at this spot. We were at the spot for a bit where like all these dudes were like, okay, Cody jumped ship. Things are going great for him. Like, I mean, this is something we can consider. And after this week, like all those dudes, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way they're even considering it now at this point. They can't.
Jay White's standing at the door going, no, y'all fucking turn around. I don't even want anything to do with this. You don't either.
That's the last thing on my list. So
why don't you turn around and walk the other way?
Freaking for like 3 or so months now. Like whenever it was, like Jay, he wrestled that last match, and he, you know, no longer with New Japan. He was gonna go do other things. And for the longest time now, it has been rumored that Jay White's going to show up in WWE. They had interest, and apparently he was like 50-50 AEW, WWE. Didn't know where he was going to go. And, you know, like I feel like almost every week for like goddamn months now, everybody's like, oh, Jay White, he's gonna debut and blah, 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 blah. And then we get around to that episode of Raw. And it's like, all right, everybody's like, all right, this is the episode after WrestleMania. So that means that we're going to have some big returns, or we're going to have some new people come in. It's going to be like Randy Orton, or it's going to be Matt Cardona, or it's going to be Jay White, right? You know who it was? It's fucking Riddle. And the worst part about that is, I fucking love Riddle. But everybody was so pissed that it wasn't one of those other guys that all of the internet was just shitting on Riddle because of it. And I'm like, that's not fair that your expectations were fucking stupid.
You feel so bad for Matt Riddle.
Right? He's so great, but he got just destroyed because everybody wanted to see somebody else instead.
Shit. Oh, God, it's so bad. And I feel like it's like, dude, that wasn't your fault. You did everything you were supposed to. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just you'll be okay. Everybody else is pissed. But like everyone's like Matt Cardona, I'll be like, Matt Cardona would be kind of cool in the Triple H era. But now that the Triple H era was less than a year, no Matt Cardona. Send him somewhere else.
The reason Zack Ryder got buried so hard because of Vince, because he never fucking liked him.
Nope. So that's not a thing.
And the last thing that was incredibly convenient, right, was after Raw. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even think it was a day after Raw. All the reports coming out saying Jay White no longer interested in going to WWE. Now, yeah, that could have been a thing where it's like I wasn't really planning on it and I just wasn't talking about it type of deal. But the fact that came out right after that episode of Raw aired is again incredibly convenient. You know?
Oh, I just man, Twitter is it's a cesspool. It's not quite as bad as like Reddit, but Twitter's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And like look at it shit. And it's one of those things people are like, oh dude, they needed to debut Jay White tonight and like put him out there with the club and make it like the Bullet Club again. And then they can do something with AJ. I'm like, there's not a fucking chance in hell after last night he's coming.
No, there's no way.
And now some of you people still think it's happening after Monday. You fucking psychopaths. What the fuck is wrong with
the copium, dude?
The cope in that. My favorite thing in the cope is even the one, there's still people that are saying this, but there's always been people that it's not, oh, they're going to debut Jay White. They're going to debut Jay White. Oh, hey, he's going to WWE. There's no way he's going anywhere else. My favorite line in that, if AEW had him, they would have already debuted him. Okay, well, if WWE already had him, they would have debuted him.
I was going to say, why would that?
They would have had a reason to put him out there to send him for WrestleMania. You don't think that I know that there's this magical, mystical Raw after Mania, but you don't think you debut him before and set him up for somebody? You could have had him face anybody in WrestleMania. Imagine that pop. Right. Or had him at WrestleMania. Like, oh, the longer he's not at AEW, the more likely it is that he's at WWE. And I'm like, there's no
like these people think that like these dudes are like machines as well. It's just like, okay, he's a free agent now. It's like, if you went through all, like, you spent all the time in New Japan, you did everything conceivable, like you've done it all in that company, and then you decide that you want to do something else, would you not take some time off to yourself before you did that? Like, why does he have to appear somewhere immediately?
Oh, because people still think it's one of those, like, you have to be in front of the camera or else you're never going to get known.
Yeah.
Or you're never going to be relevant. Really? Some of the most relevant things in the world are people that have been gone. Did anybody forget about CM Punk? No.
No?
Not a fucking person.
No.
Sometimes I wish we had. Like now.
I tell you, I have been really, like, here lately, people have just been posting fucking the CM Punk.
Pipe bomb?
Well, Pipe Bomb and, like, other promos of him just destroying Vince McMahon all over the internet, and you know what? I am here for it.
You know what? It's the only time that Phil and I can truly come together is to shit on Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
That section of the Pipe Bomb is literally has aged so fucking gracefully.
Pipe Bomb has. He never lied. I'm not saying he was wrong when he said any of that. No, I'm saying he's self-righteous and a hypocrite.
And
but you know,
he's saying wrong. He said exactly what we're saying now. We would like to think that everything would be better once Vince McMahon is dead. That's literally everybody's thought process now after Raw. And it's like, you don't want to wish death upon somebody, but like, what do you like? This dude he's ruining everybody's lives. I'm not talking about like the fans. I mean, I'm sure, you know, obviously everybody's upset, and I'm sure
ruining my happiness.
It's definitely ruining my happiness as well. But like, you know, like all these people on the roster that are just like, he's back. Like that Triple H has like tried to uplift and put out there. They're fucking done.
There's nothing. There's nothing you can do now.
And that dumb
because the only reason now I'm watching is, I guess, hate watching is all you got. I'm hate watching because I like doing this. I like having these conversations. I like putting these videos. It's fun. Like, that's great. And I'll bitch about it for you because I like to do that. It's cathartic. It's nice. But like, that's the only reason I'm watching at this point. It's just so I can be like, I fucking told you it's bad. Or here we are.
It's, you know, and that was the thing, like, this was a whole other thing that I was talking about, you know, where this whole thing, once the allegations, like, everybody forgot about them, because that's how the world works and the internet works. Everybody's like, you know, after something is like a month old, nobody cares, you know? After all that passed, like, Vince McMahon had realized that, like, okay, well, I didn't want to leave, but they told me I should, and I don't think they gave me good advice, even though they fucking did. Whatever. So now this whole thing feels like an elaborate setup. Like, this is like so intricately planned from the get-go.
It wasn't even, because somebody explained it, and it made more sense. It was very easy. Very easy. It wasn't intricately planned, and you can tell. And now going back and look at breadcrumbs, it was super simple and easy, because you could tell as soon as Stephanie went, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Yes.
As soon as her dad said that he was back on the board,
that's not what I'm talking about.
She said, "I'm gone." But like, well, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the sale.
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about.
What I'm talking about with the sale. No, I get that. That's I'm talking about like right now, not back then.
No. But what I'm saying is that all leads up to this, because I'm making a point.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is that's the first sign of what's going on.
No,
and the whole time what he was doing is the reason that these people kept dropping out, the reason that they kept dropping out as far as who wants to buy is because all these people, yes, they wanted the name WWE. Yes, they wanted the legacy of WWE. Yes, they wanted that product. None of them wanted Vince McMahon.
That's literally what I'm saying.
The only people that it was, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. I'm totally on board with what you're saying. He wanted
they didn't want him,
so that
but Endeavor did
control. And Endeavor was like, well, we fucking
like literally like during the interview, Ari Emanuel, whatever the fuck his name is, he literally said, like, if we're getting WWE, like, we obviously, it's like, there's no way we're not getting Vince McMahon as well. Like, he was excited to bring him on. So like, that's the route he went, because if he would have went any other route, he would not have gotten to stay.
Oh yeah, no, there was no way in hell that they were going to do, because there would have been. I'm surprised that there's not going to be a lawsuit at this point, but the fact that they've already finalized it and everybody got compensated, it's legal.
And this is another thing, like, you know, but
it's still manipulative.
Triple H is like, he's the guy he's the in-between guy, like, you know, like, now at this point, but like Triple H, he's making so much money, and he got paid an extra $5 million bonus. So it's like, what the fuck is Triple H supposed to do about it? He just got to fucking suck it up and deal with it, and it sucks.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna do anything. He ain't gonna fucking do anything else about it, you know.
Start the countdown clock to Triple H's next heart attack.
God.
Because it's gonna fucking happen.
I mean, it's gonna give me a heart attack.
Because it's gonna give me one, but it's definitely gonna give. It's gonna give him one, because he's gonna have to be the in between. And what the fuck?
The only, like,
the whole thing is just exhausting.
Like the whole thing was he worked it out in this way. He could both sell the company for shitload of money and also be able to stay on, and working with a dude that wants him to stay on. Not like it's like, oh, you can stay on if you want to. Like the dude specifically wants him to stay on. And now that we're
that's
owned,
what he's saying. What he's at is we'll do anything to make sure that that we buy WWE, including keeping Vince on. Which, what are you gonna do at that point? What are you gonna fucking do? Because people are gonna stop caring. At some point, we're gonna stop. Like you're gonna have to look up and be like, all right, I can't keep getting beat anymore, so I have to fucking do something.
Yep.
It's just I don't understand why you keep them on. You're gonna have to end up firing regardless.
This is the whole thing at this point, right? They've got WWE is valued at like 9.1 billion. I think UFC is valued at what, 12? I think was the deal.
Yeah.
So like it's this whole endeavor here. This whole endeavor. I did that by accident. This whole endeavor, I guess, is what I should say.
Or whatever.
Accident, but anyways, combined total $21 billion thing, right? So if something does happen, and I don't honestly, with how things are, I wouldn't, I'm not too hopeful that something will, but if something does happen and, shit just starts to tank, like ratings and everything else start going down, like they can't just let that continue to happen.
No.
That's the silver lining in all this. If everything does end up hitting the fan and shit just starts going down, ratings and like merchandising and like all of that shit, like they have to do something. This isn't like before where they couldn't do anything about it because they weren't owned by anybody. Like now, they do have people who own it, so if something like big like that is costing them lots and lots of money, then they can't just sit by and do nothing.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can start like, well, we'll make some cuts to people that are not, working with the vision and making it work. Yeah. There's only so many times you can cut people and the same shit happen, and somebody above you go, hey man, nothing's fucking changing, and you've got to figure it out, or you're gone. And they can absolutely do it.
Like they'll have to.
I mean, that's the only thing. And people want to compare, like, oh, they're not going to get rid of somebody like Vince. I mean, they still have somebody
They'll
like.
get rid of anybody if that's costing them money.
Here's the thing: they still have somebody like Dana White. Dana White, who got into a slap fight with his wife at a club because he was drunk and stupid.
I was gonna say we got this
not
dude.
Only that, now you got somebody who slapped his wife. Unfortunately, you shouldn't hit women. She hit him first. He hit her back. And it's stupid. But the thing about that is, do you know how much money Dana White makes in Endeavor? Enough for them not to give a fuck about you and your wife slap boxing at a club in Mexico.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit because you're making them money. But Vince McMahon is not going to make them money.
But as soon as they stop making them money, they're not going to get to stick around.
Oh, no, they will be gone just immediately.
That's the name of the game, money. I don't know. The one, I mentioned it before, but this isn't like, it's not a reality. But like, the Raw being in LA, Vince was already in LA. I think the real thing, the real showing of all of this, everything's going to play out from now on is SmackDown this Friday. SmackDown is in Portland. If Vince is running the show in Portland at SmackDown, then that's it. It's done. Like that's it.
Yeah, I honestly don't see a reality where that's not happening.
No, I don't either. I don't either. But like that's the final level, the final boss. If that happens on SmackDown, then it's done. It's
fucking game over.
Right.
It's game over at that point.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Because it's literally like you would actually, as a fan, have to finally admit, oh fuck, they're right.
That is like literally if he is there on SmackDown running the show, and it ends up being a dumpster fire just like Raw, you would have to in actual clinically insane human being to still be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Everything's fine. Blah, blah, blah.
No, see, the problem is, oh, dude, man, trust the process, man.
Oh,
like fucking,
makes me want to vomit.
Trust the process, man. Vince got WWE to the top of the fucking mountain, man. He can do it again. Just fucking trust the process. Nobody fucking trusts the process.
No, what process? There is no process.
What Vince McMahon is. There's no process anymore. There's the whims of an old man who's teetering on senility. Okay? Yeah. The man looks like a villain from a 1920s cartoon.
I think the thing
looks,
yes, he does. He does.
He looks like he's helping the Nazis in a 30s noir film.
Dude, we went through this whole like hour. We didn't mention that at all. Vince McMahon goes out and dyes his hair jet black and grows the tiniest dumbass fucking mustache you've ever seen. He looks like a freaking idiot. And why, after all these years, has he just now decided to do that? It's like he's going through a midlife crisis, but like way too late in life.
he looks like the reason he's paying off.
He wants to be hip like Dana White.
Yeah, he looks like the women that he's paying off for not for assaulting them. It's for tying them to the tracks.
Train tracks, yeah.
To let the hero fucking save him.
What was the tweet? It was like, man, that's crazy that Vince McMahon has both time to run an entire episode of Raw before tying a group of women to the train tracks.
What was the other thing I said? He looks like he's going to evict a bunch of orphans because he bought the building.
Yeah, he looks like the main,
I don't care where you go, get out of my house.
He looks like the main bad guy in any like 1930s movie.
Yes, he looks. What was the thing? It was something fucking stupid. He just looks ridiculous, dude. There's no other explanation for it. He just reminds me of everything like scummy and sleazy, and just exactly like you would be standing around smoking a cigarette while some chick gets kidnapped in the background and he gets into the truck with the guys.
It's
all
weird.
Right, boys,
it's like I can't get behind why. Like he's not. There's so many of those dudes as they get older and they're like 60s and 50s and whatnot. You see all these like really wealthy dudes. They'll dye their hair or get some kind of hair plugs or they'll get plastic surgery and shit. And Vince is just kind of like age, but he's always like worked out. He's like super jacked, and like that's just kind of like over time he's just aged. And like now that he's almost 80, I think he's 70 goddamn 7. Now is when he decides that he wants to dye his hair and grow a mustache. Like he had his hair, eyebrows, and mustache dyed jet black.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
When is the last time Vince McMahon has had not gray hair? There has never been a period of time when I've watched wrestling where Vince McMahon had not gray hair.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty true. And the thing about that is, too, you can compare him to somebody from WrestleMania who actually did also dye their hair black, all of their gray hair and their beard, and didn't look as ridiculous, but still kind of looked a little funny. And that's MVP.
Oh yeah, I forgot about MVP.
Took the gray out of his beard. Out of his beard.
I mean, at least I know what MVP looks like without gray, right?
And if you know what, you can't just like all in when no one's seen you before. You gotta gradually do that, dude. And honestly, at your age, homeboy, just salt and pepper, man. Just a little bit of color.
Are we gonna see some like? It makes me wonder if we're gonna start seeing some like plastic surgery and shit now. I feel like he's going through something right now.
There's not enough plastic in this fucking universe. I say that, and I've seen some people.
He's gonna start looking like Simon Cowell.
He's gonna start looking like the cat lady. start looking like Donatella Versace or some shit.
Oh God, looks like that one guy on TikTok who he looks like he's got balloons in his lips. And then he's got what is that shit that you inject into your muscles? The stuff, or into to make it look like you have synthol. Yeah, he's got that injected in his arm, so he's got these gross, weird biceps, and then he's got like his face looks like a triangle, and then his lips look like somebody like blew a balloon up inside of his lips. Vince McMahon is gonna look just like that guy.
It's bad. You're gonna look like one of those fucking twin brothers. You remember them?
Oh
the
yeah.
ones that died. That was just like
that died. The one died, and then like the other one died almost immediately after. It's wild how that happens.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but also it was all this shit, and they'd been doing that forever.
Those dudes were like
wild things,
creatures.
They were creatures. They were literally just creatures.
They're walking Halloween masks.
Dude, Asuka's Twitter is fantastic. Just nothing but pictures of her from like Mania and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're really good pictures. Anyways. But yeah, no, it's the whole thing's a fucking shit show. I'm just ready to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's like and I don't know what to do at this point. I don't really, after Raw, I don't want to watch. Really, after WrestleMania, I didn't want to watch. I did have Raw on, but like, I don't have any interest in watching SmackDown. And I'm at the point, like, I would go out of my way to watch a shittier, more obnoxious version, pirated, of SmackDown than actually watch it on Hulu. Just to make myself feel a little bit better, as if I'm contributing to making the ratings go down.
I already paid for Hulu.
Right. So like, we got the biggest problem is that Vince decided to do this the day after WrestleMania, which we all know. Like, the whole show could have literally just been fucking Corey Graves in the arena, butt naked, drinking Omos's diarrhea shit out of a bucket for 3 hours, and that still would have been the highest rated Raw of like the last 5 years. Like, it's just how it is, and he knew that. He knew damn well that would be the case. So he goes in there and runs the show, and then goes up to the guys of Endeavor and like, hey, look what I did. I came back, and the show was the biggest show that we've done in 3 years or whatever, however long it was. I don't think it was that long, but it was a long time. And look the demographic rating thing or whatever was like 0.72. And they're all like, oh shit, those numbers are great. We need to have you back on every week or every episode. And then like that's where it starts. And then SmackDown, now we're at SmackDown. You've got the people that saw Raw and the ending of WrestleMania, and they're like, I'm not gonna watch this shit. But you've also got the people that are like, that shit was so bad that I can't not watch SmackDown to see what happens.
I'm kind of bordering on that at this point, where it's like, this is so fucking terrible. I want to see the depths to which they finally go to.
That's the problem. This is what I was talking about, as how he had like planned all of this out. It's all of this works out so conveniently, and I have a hard time thinking that, oh, this is just accident. This is just an oopsie that worked out for him. It's like, no, he knew what he was doing when he did all of this.
Yeah, I want to see the final bottom of the barrel is what I want to see, because that's what it'll be. Yeah. It'll just be the complete finality, the bottom of everything, just the end of it, and it'll be fine. I'll be all right with it, whole deal, but it'll be sad. But I just want to see it go down in flames.
The one thing about that though, the people that that'll be hate watching SmackDown because of how bad Raw and WrestleMania was, that will eventually die down.
Oh no, it will.
So,
and that's when it'll get even more interesting.
Yeah,
because once you start doing that, you'll start pulling out some weird shit. They'll start pulling in a bunch of fucking old people to try and pop a rating again like they used to.
It's the Undertaker.
Ron Simmons will come in and drop his monthly.
Damn.
It'll be fine. But that's what they were doing for a while. Like once every quarter, they were like trotting out all the old fuckers with their oxygen tanks. It was like, you remember this guy? Is that Bruno Sammartino? I didn't know you were still alive.
I thought he was dead.
Christ almighty. How are you alive? But Randy Savage is...
Start bringing back...
Okay, the drugs. Gotcha. Okay,
Let's start bringing out holograms of dead wrestlers to wrestle each other. If you always wanted to see Randy Savage fight fucking Roddy Piper in 2023, well, goddamn it, we got a hologram just for you.
Do you want to see Bruno Sammartino versus Owen Hart?
And Omos. You gotta add Omos. It's Vince. You gotta add Omos.
With McFoley as special guest referee. Because we can do this.
We're gonna get to the point where it's just like, well, shit, I don't have to hire talent. We'll just make everybody be a hologram.
I'm surprised they're not there yet. They're already using AR. What the fuck's the matter?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I wonder.
It's just like so bad. It's gonna go down.
Like I just wonder. Like Vince McMahon. Like he knows that this won't last forever. He just can't. And I think he's just doing everything that he can to get back in there while he still can, just to get one last go at everything. And when he does, he's just gonna fucking drive that shit right into the ground. Because if he can't have it, fucking nobody can have it.
Ride it into the ground. That motherfucker is going to he's gonna 9/11 the shit out of it is what he's gonna do.
I wonder,
Allah Akbar that bitch directly into the fucking towers is what he's gonna do.
If that is the case, right? That would Endeavor
accomplish nothing.
Well,
my God, you
Endeavor,
are correct.
That would be like a lawsuit, right? Like big time. I don't know how all that works.
Witness has stopped Vincent McMahon.
I know, but I'm just saying, if he intentionally fucked over their investment, I don't imagine that would just work.
Means anything to him. That's all I'm saying. You said that like it means shit to the man.
That's true. I mean, he's got more money than anybody could ever fucking want.
Yeah, but it is true. Like that's another thing that's, speaking of having so much money, it literally is true what fucking CM Punk said. He's a millionaire that should be a billionaire, but he isn't because of himself, in spite of himself.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. Because he had all the money to make everything happen, and he just continues to do shit that he knows are pissing people off.
And you know what's the saddest part? He is 77. And Vince McMahon absolutely seems like the kind of guy that could live to be like 110. That's what's sad.
No.
We'll all be like...
No, because here's the deal.
We'll all be old ourselves by the time he dies.
His heart will finally explode one day.
He'll be doing his 1,000-pound fucking deadlifts and then just fall over.
Well, let's put it this way. And I'll say this. Come at me, Vince. You can't do that many steroids and not have some sort of repercussions.
Right.
So
I mean, you saw how he fucking took Stone Cold Stunner last year. It's like, yeah, sure, he can lift a shitload of weight, but goddamn, he has the mobility of a crippled grandma. Like,
well, that's what everybody said about him. He's strong, but he's not athletic.
No. Like, I've never seen a worse stunner take in my entire life than that.
Man can lift a fucking car, but he's got the coordination of a baby gazelle.
You know,
a newborn.
It's kind of funny now that I think about it. Like, fucking Vince McMahon bombed that stunner so hard at that pay-per-view that it was actually hilarious and like a highlight almost of the show. And the same thing fucking happened at this WrestleMania with Snoop Dogg after Shane McMahon tore his quads just like his old dad. Snoop Dogg did the worst fucking people's elbow I've ever seen in my life, and it was my favorite part of the whole show.
What I want to believe about that is that he in his head went, I can't do this for real. And these ropes hurt when you hit them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this so shitty that it's hilarious.
I mean, he did, he fucking, when he got to the elbow, he went. Like, he didn't just, half-ass it. He just dropped. And I was like, oh, shit, he actually did it.
Fucking people's elbows.
That probably fucking hurt, honestly. Miz might have a bruise.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. It wasn't fucking Pat McAfee's ADHD real ass before that. or Shane McMahon tearing his quad.
Oh God.
Which, by the way, is almost entirely confirmed was a Vince decision because they had
Carrying his quad was a Vince decision.
No, Shane McMahon, but yes.
I could just see
eventually.
It's like, all right, Shane, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna tear your quad just like I did, just like your old dad.
No, technically that was decided decades ago with DNA. So I mean that was gonna happen regardless at some point. It was like the dude, his decision was to send his son out there that hasn't wrestled in an entire fucking year and is aging as he is as well. And you're gonna send him out there to fucking have a match with Miz, and he fucking blows a quad, and then they have to improvise. You literally had Bobby Lashley and LA Knight standing there waiting.
Yeah,
and you went, fuck it, send Shane.
Right.
There's so many baffling decisions, but then again, who we're talking about, none of us should be surprised.
Right. Well, we got 5 minutes till Dynamite, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, all right. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I don't know. I don't even. What do you feel about Vince McMahon returning? Do you hate it as much as everybody else does? I sure as fuck hope so.
God, I hope you're smarter than that.
If you've not subscribed yet, you should definitely do so. If you not like the video, do that as well. We'll continue to have weekly podcasts uploaded, hopefully weekly. So be sure to keep up with that as well as other videos and whatnot. We did have a video go up today or yesterday. One of yesterday, I think. On all the CM Punk news and whatnot. So go check that out if you've not done that. Anyways. Do what?
I said, and whatnot.
And whatnot. Yes. But, all right. And anyways, peace out, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one. We'll see you guys all next time.
Peace.